Let's deal with reality and hard evidence. Listen.
The mystery of how Elisa found her way into the water tank remains. The 4 hotel water tanks, each with 1,000-gallon capacity, measure 4 by 8 and require a ladder to access. Additionally, access to the hotel's roof is securely locked, only accessible with staff passcodes and keys. Any unauthorized use of the doors or stairs would trigger an alarm.
Straight back out to a renowned investigator, owner of MCM Investigations, former LAPD, over 25 years, Mike McCormick. Mike, did you hear the security measures in place to guard those cisterns from the residents, the guests at the Cecil? 4 hotel water tanks, each with a 1,000-gallon capacity. They measure 4 by 8. No one can just fall in. You have to go up a ladder to access each one of them. This is important. The hotel's roof is securely locked, only accessible with staff passcodes and keys. Unauthorized use of doors or stairs triggers an alarm. In our New York apartment, you can't go up on the roof. It's impossible to get in unless you work there and you have passcodes and keys. Now, what does that tell you, Mike?
Nancy, that tells me the alarm was disconnected. The law enforcement needs to look at previous staff members and the current staff members that were at the hotel at the time. The fact that she went to the fire escape tells me that she was looking for an escape route and either couldn't make it all the way out onto the fire escape and was forced back by somebody, and from that point was murdered and taken up onto the roof and dumped into the water tank. And the law enforcement needs to look at the staff. Previous staff that may have not been working there at the time and the current staff at the time.
Joining me right now is Matt Mangino, attorney, former felony prosecutor, and author of The Executioner's Toll. Matt, thank you for being with us. Everything McCormick just said makes perfect sense. What do you think?
Well, it does make sense. And, certainly if I were investigating this case, I'm looking on the inside immediately. If someone says that these alarms were set, that there was no way to get to the roof without triggering them, passcodes and keys, then I'm looking on the inside. I'm looking for someone who would have the ability to disconnect the alarm system and have keys to these areas. But the thing that I would want to know is how many keys are out there. I mean, this isn't the Waldorf Astoria. This is the Cecil Hotel. It's run down. I mean, how many people have worked there? When was the passcode last checked and inspected? Those are all things that I would want to know. It's easy to say, yeah, we have a passcode. Yeah, we have keys. Are they functional? How many are there? So I'm looking at a whole array of things if I'm investigating this case.
To Dr. Michelle Dupree, pathologist, medical examiner, and detective, Dr. Dupree, even though her body had been in that cistern for a period of days, her skin had slippage, there was actually mold, black mold growing on her back. Could you tell if there were signs of, for instance, asphyxiation, suffocation? Could you tell if she had been, even though her body had been in the water?
Nancy, it may be entirely possible. It really just depends on the circumstances. But we could certainly tell if she had been strangled, say, or if she had had blunt force trauma or some other kind of trauma. Absolutely, we would be able to tell those things.
But what about a rape kit? Would you still be able to obtain DNA?
We would do a rape kit, and hopefully we would be able to. But because of being in the water, I'd say there's probably a 50-50 chance. It's possible. It's really going to just depend on the circumstances. The water is certainly going to dilute any DNA